All right, what's up, guys?
Welcome back to our channel. We are here to introduce our library project to you. As you can see behind us, it is all done. This is going to be kind of a different style video. We're really excited about it, so we're going to walk you through the entire process. So the library project came about because I got more into reading.
Yeah,
I feel like
annoyingly, she reads every second of every day now.
It'd be like that sometimes. You play video games, I read.
I don't play video games as much as you read. All right, so 2 years ago, we had trim around the top and the baseboards, and we had a little accent trim on the walls. And now, when we had to add this in, we had to take all that down, which made me cry a little bit because all that hard work had to be torn out.
That was step one, was obviously removing the old trim, and then step two was building all the IKEA furniture. It went fairly quick, but because there was so much of it, it took a little bit of time, and we kind of made it a competition to see who could finish first. So we had to build 7 of the bookcases, 7 of the extenders.
Who won?
I did, actually.
She cheated.
Naturally,
I had the
winner.
electric tool. I had the manual Phillips screwdriver.
After we had all the furniture built, we obviously had to build them into the wall and secure it to the wall somehow. So all of the IKEA bookshelves came with like mounting brackets. So we mounted them first together using post screws.
Yeah, that was a cool idea, actually. I love that. It worked out perfectly.
That was my idea.
It was her idea. You did find that
So we mounted them all together just to make sure they were connected and not gonna like come apart anyhow, or anyway. And then we used the brackets that were provided to attach them all to the wall. And then how we have like one that's kind of offset in the corner, IKEA does sell like corner brackets for their Billy bookcases, so you can do that.
Again, I'm gonna be complimenting her a lot on this one because that worked perfectly. At first, without the bracket, I tried lining it up and it wasn't working, but then she's like, oh, I have these.
He was like, how are we gonna do this? And I was like,
and then I slid it in. It made it so much easier. And
that's what she said.
Hats off to you. I knew it. Once I said slid, I was like, dang it. So after we got everything set in place, we had to figure out the trim work, which you already had some kind of idea of what to do.
So for the trim, we obviously didn't want this to look like IKEA furniture, so we needed to trim it out as much as we could. So obviously we added crown molding and baseboards just to like build it into the wall a little bit. But then there was like where we connected the bookshelves, there was a seam. So we got this really cool fluted trim. So, and then because we trimmed everything out and did all these nail holes, we had a lot of nail hole filling to do on all of the new trim. And then I also, like one step further, I think when you do like an IKEA Billy bookcase hack, is there's a million peg holes for the shelves.
And she was like, oh, we gotta fill all these in.
I feel like it just makes it look more finished and more custom. So we did fill in all of the holes for the peg shelf, or for the pegs that we weren't using. So we determined where we wanted all of the shelves, and we did remove, I think like 6 to 8, or no, I think we removed like 8 or 10 of the actual shelves because it was just way too many. And then so once we had our final shelf placement, we did fill in all of the holes. If you think you're gonna want to like adjust the shelves later on, then obviously you probably wouldn't do that.
But it made a difference.
I think it doesn't look like IKEA furniture anymore.
All right, so the next thing you gotta do is prime and paint everything. And since we already have a finished basement, we have to tape and mask off everything so the overspray of these gone, because we're actually gonna spray everything. So we had to tape everything off, and that took a long time. You gotta make sure that everything's taped off to where if you have any holes or anything, that spray will get through. So you gotta be very slow and make sure you get everything done correctly.
Taping off and masking off actually took an entire day. We used painter's tape around all of the edges first on the floor and the ceiling, and then we went through with tape that's attached to the masking film and went through and did all of that, and we created like a little, like basically like a little spray tent. It kind of had Dexter vibes with all of the plastic hanging. I almost like had some ideas for Ryan, but then I decided no, but
I did not step in the plastic area with her at the same time because Lord knows what she did to me.
But yeah, so you just really want to make sure everything is covered because the overspray is crazy from using a sprayer, especially when you have darker colors like we planned on doing with the paint.
And white furniture that you're going to hand off to someone here very soon. So
yeah. So if you think there's not going to be overspray, like there definitely is, which is also why when we went to prime, I had like my hair covered. I had
masks,
everything
glasses,
on.
everything. I was the
So
person on the outside handing her the things she needs.
So the type of primer that you absolutely need to use when you are painting IKEA furniture is the Bin Zinsser shellac primer. So having a shellac primer is the main component of painting IKEA furniture. It's going to allow the paint to adhere to the laminate. We did do a light sanding beforehand, but I really don't think that that's necessary. So just use the shellac primer, but be so careful when you're using it.
Very potent.
Because it literally has alcohol in it, so you need to have a mask. I had safety glasses on, then switched to goggles, and then switched to ski goggles because the fumes can literally absorb into your eyes. So you have to be so careful. We had all the windows and doors open. We had 4 fans going.
Make sure you have great ventilation because if it's going through your house, it is not healthy for anybody.
Yeah, so just a disclaimer. So we let the primer dry for about 24 hours and then it was time to paint. We went through 12 paint samples before we finally picked one.
Took a long time.
The color we did pick was Sherwin-Williams Sea Serpent.
And we didn't decide that until we went to the paint store to actually get it.
And we used the Sherwin-Williams Emerald Trim Enamel, which is super durable. It hardens, so it makes like the finish really like rigid, which is important if you have like a lot of books. Obviously on shelves and you're moving things off of it, you don't want the paint to scratch off. So definitely recommend that.
Yeah.
And then we did do 2 coats with the sprayer. So, and you want to go kind of quickly and do light coats because you don't want there to be drips in the paint.
Yeah, but always make sure you go back and check if there's drips because drips can occur later on, even though you don't see them at first.
So just 2 light coats, and we let the paint dry about 4 hours in between coats, which is what's recommended on the can. After we did the final coat of paint, we took off all of the plastic that was around the room and took off all of the tape, and it looked really good. We did let the paint cure for about 4 days before we put anything on the shelves, just so like the books wouldn't stick to the shelves, so it had time to like properly cure. And we did spray the shelves separately outside in a spray tent that we had, just because we didn't want to spray them like in here. We wanted to make sure they had a nice like even coverage, so that's why we sprayed the shelves separately. After the paint cured for about 4 days, we were able to put all of the books and all of the decor back on the shelves.
I placed everything myself. She sat back and watched.
No,
so whatever
it
you see,
actually is quite the opposite.
Kelsey she did full control of this whole project and she did good.
Yeah, I feel like it felt
this
good
was a lot of you.
because this was a project for me, so it was cool to like kind of have the driver's seat on this one.
You did.
But yeah, I put all of the books on the shelves and I thought out the placement of all of the books. So like some of them are by author, by genre, by color, and it was really cool to kind of decorate them, and I love how it turned out.
It did turn out good. All the little cute colors and everything you got going here.
This, for an IKEA hack, this was really easy to do.
Super.
It made tackling a project like this more attainable and beginner friendly.
Yep. And it made a huge difference in our room too. The ceilings look taller.
So if you guys have any questions on building a library like this out of IKEA Billy bookcases, or if you just need some advice, let us know down in the comments. We will have a blog post on this as well too on our website, which is linked down in the caption. And we have some more videos and more kind of tutorials on our Instagram if you guys are not following us there. But yeah, let us know what you guys think down in the comments, and we will see you next time.
See ya. So yeah. Toodles.